Who had Kai Cenat coming out as an anime fan in 2025 on their bingo card? Not me, and I'm pretty sure not you either, but yeah, here we are. Dynamic entry. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Nate the Human, and today, yes, we're going to be talking about some anime that could possibly help you if you were in a bit of a rut mentally. So last week at the Streamer Awards, that's right, there are awards for streamers now as much as there are awards for pretty much anything these days. Yes, a big ol' event, kind of like the Oscars or the Grammys, but for streamers only. So at this award show, besides getting roasted by the hosts and making jokes about his appearance, Kai Cenat went on stage to give a speech for winning an award. I forgot what the award is. I think it was like Best Event or something like that. Anyway, he gave a speech where he said this.
I just noticed that recently I just been going through things in my head, and I was able to, turn to like anime, Death Note, Naruto, recently since I've been gone, and I just been able to, find happiness within that.
Which is coming off the back of Kai taking a break after his latest big Mafia-thon. He took about, I think, 3 or so months off. No one's really seen him or heard of him. So him coming out of the woodworks to say this is kind of like surprising to everybody. Like, oh, okay, so he's been gone, dealing with some stuff mentally. But I guess anime has helped him, recover or become better in his situation. And this came out of left field because anime as a whole really hasn't been Kai's brand. He's more into like movies and films and, making jokes as it were. But we do know that some members of the AMP group that he's a part of are fans like Phantom and Duke. They have mentioned that they do watch anime. So having Kai kind of come forward and talk about it was surprising for everybody. And he even went on his story a few days later asking for more recommendations. So kind of crazy. Just when you thought the anime couldn't get any bigger, I'm sure this, his stamp of approval, will probably shoot up some streaming numbers for certain anime out there. And much like Kai and some of you guys out there, you probably have been in a similar position where you've been feeling depressed or down low and not really yourself, and you might have turned on a couple anime here and there, and it lifted your spirits and made you feel better about your day. It gave you something to look forward to, something to be happy about, I suppose. So that's what I wanted to do for you guys here today. I wanted to give some of my personal favorites and shows that kind of helped me through difficult times in my life. Okay, so let's start with what he said. He said he watched Naruto and Death Note, 2 kind of opposite shows, different vibes altogether. Death Note kind of is funny to have on your list, but Naruto, let's start with there. That was also, that would be one of my picks as well. But going past that, I think it's important for you, if you've never seen any of the big 3, Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, that you should find the one that you resonate the most with, because this will help you get out of whatever hole you might be in. And growing up, mine was always Naruto. That's the one that I stuck with the most. I did watch Bleach at one point, and I was like, this is kind of cool, but not really my style completely, because at a certain point, I kind of lost interest. In One Piece, I watched the English dub on 4Kids, which is infamous now for being pretty bad, but at the time, I enjoyed it because I was a kid, and I just liked anything anime related. But when Naruto came out, that changed my whole entire perspective. I was like, oh, I love ninjas. I love being an outcast. Not really, but this is what the vibe you get from this, because Naruto himself is an outcast. So if you maybe are feeling somewhat outcast from whatever situation you're in, I think Naruto can help you along his journey, find who you are yourself, because that's kind of what Naruto is about at the end of the day. It's about finding yourself and having other people around you just see who you are and realize, oh, hey, I'm going to accept this person. He's not going to change for anybody. So it will help you find people to accept you for who you are, I think. That's kind of like the vibe that it really goes for. Because, that's where the meme comes from, the power of friendship. That's what Naruto is about, the power of friendship. So I think it's important to have a show that you can take a journey with and maybe grow up along the way, like however long it takes you. Don't rush it. Some people want to watch all of One Piece in like 2 days. No, I think you should take time to just watch a few episodes a night, a few episodes a week, I guess, if you have time. If you don't have time, that it's going to help you grow as a person, to see this person's journey, Naruto specifically in my case, that it's going to make you feel better about yourself. Like, hey, I can make changes for myself along the way, and I'm never going to stop improving, because each one of these stories is about, improving along the way. And, they all have different messages within, but they all kind of are the same thing, where you can grow up with them or mature with them. And I don't know what Kai has seen in Naruto that makes him, or what helped him the most, but for me, I think it is just the power of friendship at the end of it all, help you realize who your true friends are. Okay, moving on to the next one on my list here, I have Howl's Moving Castle. Now, for me, I had seen this when it first came out, not first came out, but when it was releasing here in the US, it was on HBO for me. And I'm not talking about like HBO Max. I'm talking about on your TV when you'd have to get HBO as a part of your cable package. I know, we're old over here. But that's how I watched it. And it wasn't even the fact that we bought HBO. It was part of the free weekend. They would give you a free weekend that you can watch all the shows or whatever, or movies on HBO. And Howl's Moving Castle happened to be playing at one random weekend when I was younger. And I turned it on. And the reason I was watching it is because, hey, this is animated. I like this. I never really was exposed to Ghibli films like that. So this was my first exposure into it, which I think is what made this my favorite one amongst all of the Ghibli films. It's just such a beautiful piece of work. It's just art in the truest form. Ghibli, if you've never seen any of the films, which there are some people out there still who have not seen them. I know people in my life who have never even watched a single second of it. This, for me, was just like the peak imaginative and like atmospheric, aesthetically pleasing piece of anime that I'd ever seen in my life at the time. And for me, I guess it was really my first comfort, cozy type show piece of anime that I'd ever seen. It made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, like Calcifer is all warm and fuzzy in this movie itself. And it made me feel just safe. And every time I see it and watch it, it takes me back to that place of watching it, like I mentioned, on the HBO free weekend. And I remember thinking at the time, like, hey, is this for girls? Not because it is for girls. No. I just, for some reason, I thought that, like, hey, if there's no fighting or action, that it's girly. So I never really said out loud to my friends that, hey, did you guys watch Howl's Moving Castle? No, I just kept it a secret to myself. I don't know why at the time. That's just what I believed. So I think having it also be my own personal secret kind of added to the whole, like, I guess, cozy aesthetic, because it's like my own little nook somewhere in a library. This is my personal space. That's what Howl's Moving Castle to me felt like growing up. So even now, if I'm having a bad day or I feel like, not 100%, I can throw on Howl's and escape to that world. Even though the messaging of it is pretty dark now, but just the images themselves, it just takes you into that world. Any Ghibli film specifically will do that to you, but Howl's Moving Castle is my personal favorite. Okay, the next one on my list that helped me mentally is Hunter x Hunter. And not in the way that you might think, like, oh, I associate this with like a certain time of my life, or it made me feel cool. No. This was specifically because it was during a time, I guess, like I counteract myself there. It was during COVID. And it wasn't because it carried COVID for me. It made me feel happy because I couldn't go outside, so it's the only thing on. No, I watched this out of pure hate. My friends love this. They're like the greatest thing ever. It's the best anime ever. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. I've never really seen it. So I watched it to hate on it more. That's the only reason. I watched this entire thing. I binged the whole series. And the whole time I was thinking, I really don't like this. Sure, there are some cool characters, but for the most part, I kind of hate this, but I just kept watching so I could hate on it more accurately and more passionately. And that, I think, is part of everyone's mental state, where they just want to be a hater. Sometimes we can't always show love to everybody and pretend like, oh, I'm so happy for this and that and da-da-da-da-da. No, sometimes you want to let the hate out, let the hate run through you. This was my moment. Hunter x Hunter kept me going. Out of pure anger. I just refused to die because I'm too angry. That's why I watched this. And it just made me feel happy that I could hate on my friend's favorite anime and have a good perspective on it. Sometimes you just blindly hate things and your friends would be like, yeah, you never seen it, so you don't really care, whatever, da-da-da. No, I've seen the whole thing, so I can hate from a point of view that I've seen the whole show, and I can list facts about it and tell you these characters and their stories, whatever, and that makes them more angry. Like, they don't know what to do. When you can hate so accurately, it's just something cool. And for me, that was just like a moment where I was like, you know what? Yeah, I needed this. I can't go outside. I'm locked in, but I can hate on the internet and I can hate to my friends through a group chat. And that's what I did. Hunter x Hunter, thank you for being the show for me that I was able to hate more passionately. And sometimes there are dark periods in the world of anime where there's nothing really coming out. There's like one or maybe two good shows or decent shows that people are talking about, but sometimes there's just none. And this one that I'm going to talk about now came at the perfect time. Jujutsu Kaisen, that's right. The show that everybody loves nowadays, yes. But when it was coming out, no one really knew about it unless you read the manga, which I didn't at the time. I barely started reading manga like last year. So at the time, this came out during summer, I believe of like 2021 maybe? Maybe 2020. I think it was 2021. But it came at a time where there was really no shows on for me that I was watching. And this little shonen came out and I was like, oh, this has potential. It feels like Naruto. But after watching the whole thing, I swear to you, this carried my entire year that year. I was like, this is the only thing I care about. This is the only anime that anybody should be watching. It's the perfect show. And, I still stand by that. The manga itself, the way it ends, we've all seen it. We might not like it, but the anime itself, that first season was absolute peak. Everything about it just made me feel so happy because it was like horror elements, it had sick-ass fight scenes, it had fun characters, and it made me laugh more than any show that I had seen up until that point, at least anime-wise. And it was just one of those ones where it made me believe in anime again. At the time, when it came out, I was like, there's a cool show here and there, but I think it might be dying. I think the form of anime might have reached its peak. No, this came along and pushed it further, and it still does continue, at least in anime form, to push boundaries, despite how you might feel about it or the story itself, yada yada. You can't deny the quality of the show that we've been getting has been nothing but amazing. And so for me, that lifted my spirits and gave me hope. And sometimes that's what you need in life as well. When you're going through something mentally, you need hope to keep going, to keep, striving for your goals or whatever. Keep hating if you wanted to, like I mentioned earlier. Whatever it is, you need hope. And that is what Jujutsu Kaisen did for me. It gave me hope. And speaking of wanting to keep continuing on, striving for your goals, Hajime no Ippo has the perfect formula for that. That's right. Ippo has been one of the shows that has made me want to get up and do something, and sometimes you do need that as well. You need a motivation. If you're going through something mentally, you need some a will to keep going. Sometimes with this channel, it's hard to keep posting videos where I'm like, I don't see any growth. I don't see anybody interacting with it, whatever. But when I watch Ippo and see him performing and seeing him strive to become the best boxer in the world, that makes me want to get up and be like, you know what? I can do it. I don't care. I don't care who watches it. It could be one person. It could be 20,000 people watching it. Whatever it is, it makes me want to keep doing things in my life. This is a small goal for me, yes. But people watching this show, you might have a bigger goal than that. You might want to become the best boxer like Ippo. If you watch this, it's going to make you want to get up and just go for it. Whatever it is in your life, it's going to make you want to do it. That's why I think a lot of athletes themselves who are into anime are a little bit into anime. If they watch Ippo, a lot of them praise it as the best ever, and I can't disagree with them because it probably is the best sports anime out there, but also it might be one of the best anime in general out there because it is just a shot of adrenaline to you. It makes you want to get up and keep going and just do it the right way. Not even hurt people along the way or screw people over. No, you want to get up and do it the clean and right way because that's what Ippo does. And that's what this anime makes me feel. Very motivated, and it will get you up and going. If you need that extra motivation in your life, throw on Ippo. And even watch a few episodes. You're going to be like, oh, I get it. I see what he's talking about. And it's going to make you very happy if you do so. The final one on my list here that helped me mentally overall, probably the best example of a growth of somebody and showing how you can go through different emotions in your life and that you shouldn't block out certain emotions and you should let in some and regulate others. It's going to be Mob Psycho 100. I've talked about it before on this channel, and it's one of my all-time favorite anime ever, and it's a modern-day classic. If you watch this, you might not be able to get past the animation at first. It might be a little weird for you, but if you can get past that little part or some of the slow parts, you'll take this journey with Mob and you'll just feel so much better about it. It gives you a great journey throughout the mind and your emotions. And that's a lot of the times what we go through mentally. We're feeling out of whack. Our emotions aren't feeling correct, or you're not feeling things how you should be feeling them. And I think Mob shows you how you can go through life not feeling certain things and how it can affect you. And if you let certain other emotions control you, it'll ruin your life in other aspects. You should always strive to be someone who is not perfectly balanced, but but relatively balanced to where you can navigate your life and make decisions correctly and just handle situations that come to you correctly, and just don't let yourself be so, consumed or controlled by negative emotion. And it's just like a beautiful story and a coming of age story that has never been really told in this way. And it shows you that pretty much everybody out there, if they're not like the shittiest person ever, can be redeemed in some way, and that everybody has qualities that can help uplift others around you. They say it takes a village, and I truly believe that if your village, the people that you keep around you, is intact and all giving each other what they need, it's gonna help uplift your entire foundation. Sometimes we don't have the resources to go out and do things. Anime is there for us. It helps us just whatever we're going through or dealing with, or not even dealing with ourselves. Maybe we want to see people, go and fight spaceships in space, whatever. Stuff like that. Whatever it is, it helps us escape, and that's just like the ultimate form of what it is. And I think that's kind of what Kai was saying in his message from the beginning, is that maybe whatever he's dealing with mentally and emotionally, he needed an escape that he wasn't used to. And if you are discovering anime for the first time, I think there is a lot for you to go through, and it's a very beautiful thing to find something new that you become passionate about, because it helps you realize, oh, there's more opportunities and there's more doors out there for me to explore and different adventures to take. So yeah, so that's my list of anime that have helped me in different various mental states. Let me know down below what some of your favorites are, or the ones that help you through your darkest and deepest troubles and toils, or whatever it is you faced, down below. And I want to hear them. I want to see them if I've not seen them. All that stuff down below. I truly appreciate that. Also, if you want to subscribe, you can do that down below as well. We're at 620 subscribers, so it'd be cool to keep going up higher. Like I mentioned earlier, like Ippo, I want to keep pushing for that goal of eventually maybe 1,000. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, you can do that, but also you can follow us, description down below, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is you're on. If not, I at least thank you for watching. And yeah, until next time, go talk to a friend.